So where do you find great music teachers to teach at your music school? Well, I'm going to give you 7 ideas that we use to build our team of 60 odd teachers, and then we'll have a bunch of extra notes, resources, and ideas from the BAM squad down below as well. But these are the 7 that worked for us, and they're pretty much the same for the BAM squad as well. So let's kick it off. Number 1, turn to all the usual business websites for listing jobs, right? So depending on what country you're in, those websites will be different. So if you're in America, you're looking at things like Indeed.com, Craigslist, LinkedIn. If you're in New Zealand, where I am, it's more trademe.co.nz, seek.co.nz. These are job searching websites, and LinkedIn as well. So where are those jobs being housed? Where is everyone looking for jobs? Yes, they're going to charge you some money, but if that's where all the traffic is, that's a good place to start, and you want to pay the fee and just get it done. Another thing that's really interesting is the amount of times we were told by people, I went to, whatever it was, Seek or Trade Me or LinkedIn, and I searched, I just put in the search bar music, just in case there was anything music related, before I gave up on my dreams and wanted to go get a normal job. And they'd say, oh, and I found this job, and it's what they wanted to apply for. So you never know. There's a lot of people that are not able to get jobs in music, and a lot of them are actually just searching, hoping that there's something, not expecting there is. So if you're advertising there, then that is a great place to find those people. Now, a strategy we used, and you've got to figure out whether it's cost effective for you, is we would just always have an ad running saying, hey, we're always looking on the lookout for great music teachers. And so we would pick the longest time frame. If we could put an ad up for 3 months and we could only pay, even if it was like $400, well, we just do that, 4 times across the whole year. And so for $1,600 across the whole year, we always had a presence on those job sites. And it was just worth it for us at that scale. If you're a small school, a solo teacher, you're not going to afford to do that. But if you're a larger school, there's a tactic that will help you. Second thing out of the 7 is make sure you have a jobs page on your website. Showcase how cool it is to work there. Show your best photos of everyone having a great time, making it look like they're a real team, and hopefully they are. A whole bunch of patriots, sold out for your mission and your vision for your school. Explain what it's like to work there. What are the benefits in terms of the fact that you work as a team. You don't have to do all the admin work yourself. You get to do concerts. You get to teach a variety of instruments and bands, and you have, you might be an employee rather than a contractor. You can have more hours. There's ways that they can progress in their job to take on other roles and non-contact hours. Explain why should people work there. Sell it to them. And then have an application button, and people can fill out an application. So you're getting applications all year round. People are just interested. Hey, I wanted to give you my CV. And when you get the walk-ins off the street, if that's applying to you, you can say, hey, go to, Good Time Music Academy /jobs, and just send them to that page. So have a read what it's like to work here. Fill in the application if you're still interested. And then that shows whether they can actually follow through a task, and you get to see their details and sort of pre-screen them a bit. So that's really important as well. Number 3, local music universities or tertiary institutes, whatever they're called in your area. So we were really lucky here. It's one of the reasons we were able to grow quite well is there was 3 music universities in sort of within a 20-30 minute drive. So there was always this pool of lots of musicians being trained up in our city, which was great. And so I had really good connections with all of the teachers there and, faculty, head of departments. And that wasn't just me going, hey, I need a teacher now. Can you supply, me with, 7 leads or your best students and things like that. I wasn't always just being a taker. I was intentionally networking, looking for opportunities where we could help them. We would have them, bring out students to perform at our concerts. I would offer to go be a guest speaker for things, and I spoke at all the different universities many times in sort of their kind of music studies class and the business side of the class and kind of the, returning student kind of speaker slot, speaking about what I'd done since university. So you're trying to network, and, if you're in town, you might take one of them out for lunch or a coffee, and you have to maintain those networks. And so you're looking for ways to build that up so that when you need something, you can say, hey, Lance, I have a drum spot open. I've got 10 hours for someone. Who would be your top 3 picks? And I'd get a text or I'd get an email saying, oh, talk to this person, and get them to CC me in. And so that was really beneficial. So it doesn't work every time, but it's really up there. And so then you need to make sure if one of those works out, you put a calendar calendar reminder in your own calendar. It might be like a month, 2-3 months out and say, send Lance or whoever it is a photo of this teacher and say thank you, that they're doing a great job. And so you could just take a selfie with the teacher, hey, Corey's here, he's doing such an awesome job, thanks for recommending him again, man, he's been wonderful, the kids love him, you're awesome. Just things like that is, again, you kind of giving back. It's not you doing a lot for them, but it's encouragement, and many people never go back and say thank you, and that's one of the biggest keys with networking and marketing, because Lance is always going to remember that you said thank you, and then he's going to speak highly of you to the other teachers. And so as you get to know all of them, again, your reputation goes up. So that is number 3. So we've talked about advertising on the job websites, having a jobs page on your own website, connecting with all the local music universities or tertiary institutes. And then the 4th thing, really big one, is teacher referral strategies with your own staff. So actually just reaching out to your own staff and go, hey guys, we need a new guitar teacher on Mondays and Tuesdays. We have 8 hours of work for them, and we're looking to reach out to you guys before we put it out publicly. Do any of you have any teacher friends that you think would be amazing? Don't recommend any bad eggs, because we don't want to have to fire them and say, who the heck was that? Why did you recommend them? If it works out, the person is great, we'll give you this bonus. And down below, you'll see some examples of how the BAM squad do it. Ours was really simple. I can't remember the dollar amount. It might be $200 or $300, and you just literally got a chunk of cash if it all worked out and they were hired. Some people have done more complicated things where you get a little chunk of cash and then you get the rest of the cash, maybe 3 months or 6 months in if the person's still there. You can take a look at the examples on how people have done it below. But basically, your music teachers know other musicians. Their networks are going to be really broad and quick with texts, phone calls, social media, and if you give them a chunk of money, it's worth them doing it. If you just say, hey, do you know anyone? You might get some results, but if you incentivize them with cash, you'll get many more results with much faster action, because people are thinking, what's in it for me, And it's literally worth you doing. So if you think about, hey, it might cost you $300, $400, $500 to advertise on a specific site. Well, if you can put that out to your staff and say, hey, I'm about to advertise this. It's going to cost, $250. I'll pay $300 to save all the hassle, and straight to you guys if you can find someone in the next 2 weeks. So start messaging everyone now. And so if you can save that money, get the right person in, it's worth you paying that amount. So don't be thinking stingy, I don't want to pay $300. It's worth it. All right, next one. We're up to number 5, training students. We had a whole junior teaching program with our top students, sort of 16 to 19 years old, and so we'd put them through a whole training and train them up to be able to teach the kids that were sort of 5 to 12 years old. And we created at one point sort of junior lessons, or we called them intern lessons, intern teachers, and senior teachers who had the music degrees, and so had the differentiation between the two types of roles. So parents knew, hey, this is a junior teacher, this is what it means. They're under our same training, they're a little bit younger, but the price will be slightly lower, and so people understood that. And those are really great programs to boost on a Saturday and Sunday as well, because those students are typically still at school and they're happy to work the weekends, and that program can absolutely boom. So there we go, you can train students. Number 6 is target other music schools teachers. A little bit sneaky, but we did this many times and others have done it too. So if they list the photos and names of the music teachers on their website, you can actually just track them down on social media, reach out, hey, my name's so-and-so, I've heard you're a really amazing music teacher. We've got a position going at Good Time Music Academy, or your school. I just wondered if you or anyone you knew would be interested in hearing more about this. Here's a link. And so you're not saying, would you be interested? Do you know anyone that's, and you can phrase it however it would work for you. I would say something like, do you know anyone who's, as great a teacher as you that you'd recommend this to? And many times they come back and go, oh, I'd be interested in taking a look. And the conversation is underway then. So that's another sneaky one, looking at all the websites, have their listed names, can you track them down on social media? You usually, got multiple mutual friends if you're in the music scene, and so it's quite easy to get a response from them on direct message. 7th and final one that I will give you, and I'm sure we'll add many more great ones over time down below, so do check all the notes. This one is to email all the local covers bands. And so in our city, there's lots of working musicians playing bars, clubs, weddings, birthdays, all that sort of stuff. And often they're doing that, and They don't have quite enough money to, do that full time. They'd love to do music full time. And just for some of those bands, there's someone that would be looking for a day, 2, 3 days teaching so that they can do music during the week at your school and, gigs in the weekend. And so it's worth reaching out again with the same sort of thing of, hey, just reaching out to some local bands and saying, hey, this is who we are, letting you know about us. Would you be interested, or do you know anyone interested in teaching music? We've got an amazing place to work here, and you explain your jobs page, and just wanted to reach out and connect. And if there's anything we can ever do for you, please let us know. And so reaching out to those bands, so you can literally just Google search and find all the local bands. We have over here, this worked well for us because there's a site called Find a Band, and it was like an agent's sort of website where all the covers bands and jazz bands and classical groups and things would be on this website. You could just filter by the city that we're in and just make a list, and you can, depending how you think about this, no judgment from me, you can look and see the types of people, the demographic, and even watch their videos playing and think, oh, that person's amazing, or they're not quite at the standard we'd need to be able to have them as a teacher, and you can kind of judge them a little bit and then reach out to the bands that you would like to. And if they're on an agent website, you can then, instead of having to go through that website where it might be going via the agent, you just do your own search on Google and Facebook and find their socials so you can email them directly and connect with them. So there we go. There's 7 awesome strategies that all built our team of 60 plus teachers, and we would have hired a few hundred over the years of running my school, and so that's what worked for me. That's the sort of stuff that's working for the BAM squad as well. If you've got any unique, interesting, inspiring ideas on top of this, we want to hear them. Share them in the BAM squad group or comment down below. We'll get them added in. But there's lots of extra notes and examples. Check them out, and best of luck finding all those great teachers to build your school.